Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here in your company on this TGIF Friday open line show where you, my audience, serve as co-host for the day. We're going to talk about the week that was. So we have a lot of ground to cover today. Hope you guys will keep safe out there. For people who say they ain't got no money, I don't know. Y'all find the money from somewhere. Because the amount of traffic on the road, you try to go to the mall for something, you can't find no parking space. That's what's going on. I know Christmas coming, but wow. Maybe people could find money when they need to find money, eh? My God. But remember, Christmas is one day. And January is the longest month in the year. At least it feels like that. And all that bills start coming at you. And you want to spend all your money for Christmas. Yeah. So you might want to slow down on that spending a bit. Because, January, they said the rest of the year goes really fast, but January, boy, that month just go by slow. So I want to encourage you guys to find creative and more affordable ways to show your family and friends how much you care for them, because this ain't no time to be spending crazy. All right? And that being said, you also need to be very careful out there, because you have some people who think that you're working for you and for them. They ain't want to work. Their job is to rob you. So, so be careful out there. Be sensible. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't do anything foolish. And let's all have a safe holiday where we remember the real reason for the season. It's not about Santa Claus. It's not about the Christmas tree. It's not about how much gifts you get or the value or whatever. Let's not forget the real reason for the season. And that is the fact that the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ came to this earth, took on human flesh, walked among us so that he could relate and be the ultimate redeemer for us of the human race. Let's not forget that gift. And it really doesn't matter whether he was born on December 25th, because we know he wasn't. It doesn't matter when he was born. The fact that he was born is what matters most. So let's celebrate his birth, whether it's December, August, October, I really don't care when. The bottom line is he was born, he walked among us, and now serves as our high priest and brother for those of us who believe. That's what's most important here. So we had quite ourselves a week, have we not? The high and lofty SBF is now spending time at the pleasure of the Department of Corrections, formerly known as Fox Hill Prison or Foxhall Prison, depending on who you talk to. And now there's this very public international fight going on over who should have access to get funds to try to protect or repay those who would have lost some of or all of their savings to SPF and FTX. And the folks in the U.S. saying, well, no, the Bahamas trying to get the money and they ain't saying nothing to us and they're not transparent. And the Bahamas saying we didn't do anything wrong. We're just being, good regulators. And SBF, meanwhile, I'm telling the people, so he need to get out on bail because, he's a vegan and he only eats certain things and he needs a little medication and all these things. Boy, what a time. Bottom line is he will spend Christmas behind bars. His lawyers tried to get an emergency hearing for him to get bail, but that request was denied, and he will go back to court on January 17th for a bail hearing. He was initially denied bail because he was considered a flight risk, because the thinking was, he has so much access to so much money that no matter what bail they set would have been like, pocket change for him to come up with. And so he was considered a flight risk. And there are some who argue, you always be giving these boys who want bail from later 2 and 3 times. Y'all keep giving them bail. And they on bail for killing people. Why are you denying this young man bail? Because he have access to money. But I was watching a show last night and somebody said something on that show. I think it was on Beyond the Headlines. And I think it was Levon Miller who actually made a very interesting point. And he said, people are saying that, you give murderers bail and yet you don't want to give SBF bail. But how many lives has SBF destroyed from what now appears to be fraud? How many people life savings gone? How many lives has he destroyed? He may not have physically taken their life, but boy, plenty people right now are facing a very bleak Christmas and bleak future because of what now appears to be some serious embezzlement and fraud. So that, I thought it was a pretty good argument as to why he, should not get bail, apart from the flight risk. The fact that so many millions of people are now facing an uncertain future as a result of his alleged activities. So we're going to start today. Telephone numbers to call, by the way, 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. WhatsApp line for text messages only, 8010271, 8010271. We're going to start the show today with a clip with regard to his bail hearing. Like I said, he did try to get an emergency hearing for bail, and that was not granted. So here now is a clip talking about his attempts to get bail.
Now, based on the level of charges that he essentially faces in the United States, he's looking at, from what I've read, if the court system finds him guilty, then he's liable up to 115 years, but that's on the consecutive basis. If they were to break it down on the concurrent basis, then it would be essentially less.
The Bahamas hasn't formally placed any charges before the court with respect to SBF. He was actually arrested this past Monday night on a provisional warrant as the United States seeks his extradition. Maynard explains that a part of the criteria for that process is to have an offense that's mutually recognized in both jurisdictions. Now, SBF did indicate that he intends to fight extradition, but Maynard thinks this may be easier said than done.
Now, he would actually have to justify on his end why, he should not be extradited to face these charges in the United States. On his end, it's going to be an uphill battle with respect to that. I don't think it's going to be, as straightforward. I think it's going to be very challenging.
Now, as far as an appeal for bail goes, Maynard explains what's stacked up against him.
Now, even though he may not have strong ties to the Bahamas, I being family, and he hasn't been a very long time, that essentially does not disqualify him a right to bail, because there are systems in place to prevent or to alleviate the fear of absconding. For example, ankle monitoring, like things like that could obviously assist in his application for bail. So bail isn't essentially off the table. It's just an argument as to whether or not, if the government actually files formal charges against him, will he, abscond or disappear, or whether or not if he would actually appear for the extradition, process. So, he's still presumed innocent until proven guilty.
All right. So we will know on January 17th whether or not bail is granted to Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, he has made it very clear that he's going to fight extradition. He does not want to have to go back to the United States to face those charges, because if he is found guilty, he's looking at probably, spending some good long time behind bars in the United States. Even if that 100 and something years, runs concurrently, he probably would be in jail. He's now 30. He'll probably look at getting out maybe around age 55, 60. So yeah, he's made it very clear that he does not want to go back to the United States. He is going to fight extradition because he knows what he'll be facing if he does go back. So this is going to be very interesting to watch play out. Whether or not he will be granted bail, whether or not his attempts to fight extradition will be successful. This is all going to be very interesting. Jillian is asking the question on Facebook, how the government can form charges against him when his intention to coming to the Bahamas, when his intention to coming to the Bahamas to do his scam, this makes us look bad. I don't understand what you're saying, Jillian. I don't understand what you're saying. I played, I think it was yesterday, one of the shows I did this week, where it was said that, this level of embezzlement, alleged embezzlement, no government could have stopped this. No regulatory authority could have stopped this, whether they were in the United States, where this has happened with other companies in a major way. It ain't like this the first time such a level of fraud has ever happened anywhere in the world. So if the U.S. couldn't stop it when it happened there, I don't understand why they are acting all brand new. Like the only reason this was allowed to happen is because he's in the Bahamas. That's utter garbage. And it started before he got to the Bahamas. So it missed me with that. Because you would think that if that's their argument, that they would not have ever had any case where this kind of alleged fraud would have taken place in their jurisdiction. And that is just not true. Not true at all. If you would listen to them, and this clip that I'm going to play from the congressional hearing on this whole Oh, we have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, Michelle. How you doing? JT here.
Hey, JT, what you saying?
Well, pretty good. Thank God for life.
Amen.
Thank God for life.
Mm-hmm.
Two things, Michelle, regarding the situation here. The ankle bracelet situation.
Right.
Now, who I didn't catch the name of that person who was making those comments just now in that clip. Who was that?
I would have to look at the clip again. I didn't catch the name either.
The reason I'm asking is because are they serious about those ankle bracelets being on that boy that would prevent him from running the jurisdiction? Are they serious?
I never see no ankle bracelets stop nobody.
That's my
these
point.
Local boys is
cut them off or do it whatever else they can
let
do.
the battery die and
come on now.
Yeah.
I doubt he's ever going to get bail. I doubt he's ever going to get bail. And Michelle, what's going on here with this situation about him being a vegan? Come on now. I mean, this boy is concerned about his health concerns, but he had no concern about hiring a whole jet to bring foolishly in my view, carelessly and callously squandering the investors' money to hire a whole jet to bring lunch to the Bahamas?
Well, I dare say that, when you're in trouble, you will say and do whatever you need to do to get out of trouble.
That is true.
So I can't blame the boy for trying. I have to say, I it's vegan. I have to say my religion. Don't let me be in jail. I'll say whatever I need to say.
A drowning man will grasp
to get out of problems. Yeah. What you want the boy do?
But Michelle, obviously he doesn't listen to the advice of his attorneys. He really should not be saying anything.
He the more he talked, the deeper he dug his own hole.
Yeah.
But when you're too smart for your own good, that's what does happen.
Arrogance and all of them things really does show you up to.
He should have shut up.
Yeah. Because I mean, you're talking about people, like you were saying, whose life savings are gone. People who may never recover, who might recover some, but not all of their life savings. But all because of this man and his frivolity. Well, and Michelle, you made a very good point just a bit ago about this mess having started before FTX even came to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Now, I hope our governing officials will get up and vehemently make that point in the media. We did not perpetrate no fraud on nobody. We did not encourage nor invite Sam Bankman-Fried to commit fraud on anybody, and we did not facilitate him doing so. He was a fraudster from Jump Street.
Allegedly.
Well,
I gotta say that because
you in the media gotta say that.
Yeah, because I got trying to get sued.
But from all appearances,
right.
I like they like to say in the court of law, the preponderance of evidence, states that the man has been a fraudster.
Mm-hmm. That's hard luck.
Well, from like they say, I think you said this the other day, if it look like a duck, sound like a duck.
There's a strong chance it might be a duck.
And the other thing that jumps out at me, Michelle, is there any truth to this revelation that all Bahamian officials or depositors got their funds out, that they I forgot what the terminology was, work with Sam to get to unlock whatever to get all of their money?
I don't think everybody got all their money back, because there is a movement, from what I understand now, right here in the Bahamas, where they're talking about suing to get some people their money back.
Right. Okay.
So there's some talk that he allowed the local authorities the day before this all hit the fan to withdraw a certain amount of funds to try to offset some of the Bahamian, investors' loss. But obviously that wasn't enough to cover everything and everyone.
Yeah. But boy, I don't know. So you know what, Michelle? You know what that says to me? And this is where we're going to look bad.
Mm-hmm.
Our Bahamian officials obviously felt, saw, or knew that something was about to break before it broke. Because how could you, as a Bahamian investor, let's say a big ticket one, my terminology, a big ticket investor, have your monies intentionally and deliberately withdrawn if you did not know something was about to happen to cause you to lose your money if it stayed in there?
Yeah, it's being alleged by the Americans that that the Bahamian authorities
Yeah.
were given the heads up by someone within FTX that this was about to go down.
Well, apparently and allegedly so. Apparently and allegedly so. Now, Michelle, I want to touch on a subject that we haven't spoken of in this country in a long time, and I only want to touch on it because of some parallels that might be between the two. Vague parallels, maybe. You remember Derek Rowe? You remember that name?
Mm-hmm.
He is the Bahamian now deceased, who is alleged, and from all indications, had been given by way of inheritance billions and billions and trillions and billions of dollars. And, when the situation came up, I said to myself, this would be a perfect time for his family to now get out in the talk show circuit and start to talk about the situation with that young man. Because, Michelle, even though I never met Derek Roll, I never even really knew what was going on until I heard him on Steve McKinney's show many moments ago. Of course, before he died. But a lot of word is on the street that what Derek Roll was talking about was true. Okay, a lot of word on the street was that the man did inherit a whole lot of money, but he did not have the wisdom or the knowledge to properly guard and or protect his money.
It wasn't that he didn't have the wisdom or the knowledge. In case y'all don't know it, in this country, they will, if they don't want you to receive whatever you're supposed to be receiving from outside the country, they will not allow it in. Or if they allow it in, they ain't gonna release it to you.
Well, Michelle,
I have had people experience that with far less than what Derek Rowe was talking about.
Well, I'm glad to hear you make that point because I know of other than Derek Roll, and I never knew him, but I know of somebody else personally who right now has been fighting for years to get honest money now. Honest money. Honest money that was given to them free, clear, well, not free and clear, but honestly and properly and transparently out of a particular bank here that the bank refused. This is now 20 plus years.
They won't release it. They'll find a way to not release it.
But
And
Michelle,
I think that's so wrong.
That is the height of wickedness, Michelle, because Michelle, when did the Almighty God tell the wealthy of this country or the powerful that only them have the privileges to being wealthy or to staying wealthy? When did God tell anybody that? If anyone who has that attitude can show me in the Bible where the true and living God, creator of all things, seen and unseen, he who is righteous in all of his ways, holy, pure, and true.
The thing it isn't only the oligarchs, but you have, from what I've been advised, you have certain political interferences as well. Because the concern is from the political aspect, the political way of thinking. If I let you have all these billions of dollars, then you have more power than me.
But Michelle,
and I can't let that happen.
That's obviously somebody who's power drunk and power hungry and power
crazy. How many politicians you know in this country are power drunk?
Well, I know some honest politicians.
Can I say it all?
I know some.
Asking you how many.
I know. There's quite a few that seem to be or seem to have been power hungry. But Michelle, doesn't it stand to reason, like the saying goes, rising tide lifts all ships? Doesn't it stand to reason that if the masses are comfortable and the masses are content and the masses are happy,
JT, you acting like you don't know that these people use poverty as a means to control the masses. You acting like you don't know that.
Michelle, I am aware of, I've been hearing that and I've been seeing it perpetrated, but my point is, if the opposite was being done, if those who in authority were supporting and encouraging the typical Bahamian to be wealthy and to be well off, everybody can benefit, Michelle. And if a politician, and I use George Mackey because in my humble opinion, he was probably one of the best, if not the best politician to have ever been in this country. George Mackey died in office, I believe, as a member of Fox Hill, or he retired actually before. He willingly retired before he died. That man was so well loved.
He was.
You know, because George Mackey loved the people and the people loved him. He gave those people a sense of worth respect, and dignity. His, of course, his signature phrase was, "My beloved." Anywhere you went, anywhere you
he was a good
heard,
man. He was a good man.
he was a very good man. So I dare say, if any politician was to have had the attitude or would have the attitude of a late George Markey, you are going to be in power forever. Because when you do right by the people who you are representing and or leading, they're going to, what reason do they have not to continue to support you? When you're doing right by them, I'd rather lead by love and support than lead by manipulation and control, which unfortunately a lot of our politicians have been doing.
Yeah.
So I would say that this Derrick Rose situation brings to mind to me so much, and I just hope someday that the truth comes out, because Pastor not Anthony Allen, I think it was Anthony Allen, Pastor Allen on Facebook would many times come out and bring out exposés on the situation. And Michelle, come on, man, where there's smoke, more than likely there's fire. You and me know that. So there's got to be some truth to Derrick Rose's story that the public never knew. And of course, those jokers in Parliament, when minister was in there, they was laughing and making all kinds of sport over the situation.
Why you think they implement that thing where it say accounts that lie dormant, government gain access to them? Why you think they do that?
Because I suppose they wanted all the Derrick Rose monies to be siphoned off into that account. Hey,
you say it, I didn't.
That's my gut feeling. That's my gut feeling. And Michelle, I just heard this morning. I mean, I just ran across an article in the Guardian today. I think this morning, $88 million is in that dormant account now. $88 million. Now, if they got all of Derrick Rose money in there, it should be more than $88 million. Hey,
well, they might have already started to spend all of that.
You said it. I agree with you, by the way, too, Michelle. Allegedly, apparently, and from all indications from out there, people are living high on the hog, allegedly and apparently, on the heritage that had been given to Derrick Rose when he was alive. And it's so sad. The man was willing to give half of his fortune to the country. And anyway, thank you for your time.
Thanks for calling, JT. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Telephone number is call 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272. WhatsApp. Text messages only. 801-0271, 801-0271. We're going to take a break. When we come back on the other side of the break, we're going to talk more about this whole SBF situation with regard to what those in the U.S. are trying to charge the Bahamian authorities with. John Ray saying there's no transparency, and then what the government's response has been thus far to those charges. And then we're going to hear from an expert who claims that the crypto industry is quite unfazed by all of this. We'll explain why, or have him explain why, on the other side of the break. Stay with us. This is GPS. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
Welcome back to TGIF Open Line Show on this wonderful Friday afternoon here on GPS. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Malcolm.
Hi.
How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Wonderful. I was so surprised. I was down by an airport on Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
at Doctor's Hospital out by the airport by Blake Road. I did not know HR for Bahama Air. They have the whole space downstairs.
Okay.
I said, well, what kind of this is? Because I know HR was on Bahama Air property. Not the way of money, big grain basin and stuff like that. Why would they want to lease out that big space and doctor's hospital and stuff like that?
Well, we don't know the condition of the building where they were before, so I'm sure there's a reason.
It was a reason it happened that under, I think, the last government, they take it there because it only, the HR down there only need a little repair or stuff like that, but you know how much money the government now be paying for that, I don't know, quarterly or whatever. Then another, they should have moved the big out of Marathon Mall. That's the next big high money spending. You got to be paying for these space and stuff like that. And when government have their big building and stuff, and you know, so they got to sit down and wonder why they got to put taxi and taxi because they spending out money because they don't want to go in their own building.
Well, you know, this ain't just start, caller. I remember when this current administration came into power. I think it was Pia Glover Roll, who got up and revealed that rents were being paid, that they inherited, that nobody was in the building, that they were paying monthly rent for a building that nobody was in. So this ain't just start.
But Ms. Malcolm, when will it end? Who will come and say this not is going to happen? Somebody got to say something. It cannot continue under the PLB, the F&M, and this and that. And my last point. If I was the government today, instead of me going up on that prison. I would have take that prison, a big portion that, put it on Andres or put it in Inagua, to spread out the people. When you spread out, you create more jobs because you got to hire more people to go down there to work and stuff like that. We now need to take that old lens off and put a different lens that we could see clearly now. Because you going up. When you go up, all right, now what's going to happen in another 10 years or what happened? No more space. You just can't. Everybody are crowded in Nassau. I mean, in New Providence. You have to spread out your people. Once you spread out your people, you're creating more jobs and stuff like that. They get to invest that money. Look at Inagua. Inagua get one settlement, the third largest island inside the Bahamas. Andres. Boys Industrial School, I would have moved them from Nassau, put them on one of the family islands and stuff like that. That could be in another space for housing, to build a house and different things and stuff like that. I ain't inside government, but I could see these things.
Right.
Okay, Mr. Malcolm.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. Telephone
Okay.
numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. WhatsApp line 8010271. 801. Although I think our WhatsApp phone dead. So I can see if I could get them to charge it up. But 8010271 is the WhatsApp line. All right, so getting back to this whole FTX collapse situation. Earlier this week, there was a congressional hearing where Congress would have... Oh, that's another call of the show? Caller, welcome to GPS.
My sister, Madam Michelle.
Yes, sir.
This is the day that the Lord has made.
And we will rejoice and be glad in it.
A good afternoon to you.
You too.
I don't know how soon you will retire for the holiday, but I thought I should call in and just give my well wishes to all of my friends, JT, Pauper, to all my friends. I want to wish them well, not wealth now. I want to wish them good health, and I would encourage all men. I still my plea to all men: get the Bible. It's not effeminate. It's not too effeminate to read that Bible, because there is a force against us. Just yesterday we had another homicide. I call upon all men, get a Bible. If you don't know how to read, let Madam Michelle teach you how to read.
How's a teacher now?
Well, I normally make you tired, so I got to make you tired for the rest of the year.
Oh, Lord.
Listen, I want to encourage all men, please, find a church and get a Bible to read. It's not too effeminate to have a relationship with God. I don't know why. And you know those effeminate men. Some effeminate men like church. They like church. They like to wind up, but we ain't talking about those kind. Follow a leader who is an alpha male. Follow an alpha male leader. Papa, I call upon you. Follow a alpha male pastor so you can get grounded, because this is a force against
So if there's a female pastor and the Spirit of the Lord on her, don't go to her church.
No, sir.
Jeez.
Run from a woman pastor.
You see why I say you make me tired?
Because the emotional side of her, when the emotional side, listen to me. The only true one I believe there was Mary. That's why she was chosen by God to be the mother of Jesus.
Yeah.
But let me say this. Now, Madam Michelle, I'm going to say this. And I listened to your show. And you had I thought you was very biased. You didn't raise the issue. And I called upon Dane Patterson, how it go? Sandra Dean Patterson, please be honest and be fair. There was an alleged husband who was killed allegedly by his wife and her sweetheart in his own house. The country ain't saying nothing. I have a problem with that. This husband is alleged that his wife set him up, and his 21 is alleged that his 21 sweetheart killed her husband. Oh, they're all the talks but marital rape. They're all the talk but gender equality. But this brother who want to be a faithful husband, it's in the morgue. He is in the morgue. Allegedly. Madam Michelle, I listened to your show and I thought that you would have raised that up. A good husband was set up by his wife, and he is dead in the morgue today. He is not buried yet. Allegedly.
Allegedly, because we got to wait for the trial.
Allegedly. But there was 2 persons arrested. The wife and a 21-year-old. And you're going to tell me this is not an assault on the traditional family? Biden says it's a great day in America. Papa, it's a great day in America. JT, my brother, it's a great day in America. JT, I know you are a well-read man. You are an intelligent man. Encourage your friends, encourage all the men to get a Bible. This force going to intensify. Wives now bringing their lovers to kill their husband. I am believe now most of these homicide is domestic related. What say ye, my sister?
I ain't got to say.
And my sister, I will say and I admit this. Only a Proverbs 31:10 woman can understand and execute the power of grace. You know that. That's what the Bible says.
Yeah. I just wish that the writers of that passage had gone into some detail about who that Proverbs 31 husband was to that Proverbs 31 wife. I wish they'd talk more about him.
Well,
because you all like to jump and talk about this Proverbs 31 woman.
I could talk with him.
What you got to say about him?
Let me talk. You know the Bible. Your uncle.
Tell us about him.
Your uncle was one of the best. That Proverbs 31:10 woman had a man who understand his place with God. His relationship. This is why I'm asking. I'm not being biased, I'm asking our men to seek that Bible. Because long as he don't understand his place with God, he is in trouble.
What else you could tell me about that man?
That man, I just told you, he must first understand him and his place with God.
That's the first thing, but I'm sure that's not all he brought to the table. What else?
Then he will know how to love. When he understand his place with God, he will know how to love his wife. He will know how to cultivate her. He will know how to love his children. He will know how to love his children. And I'm not perfect, but God knows that I love my children and I love my 5 grand.
Do you think he was a man of means? Do you think he provided well for his family?
Yes. Well, I just told you a man who have his place with God, all that will fall into place. You know that. Your uncle teach you that. A man who know his place with God, all that will come.
Well, see, I asking you these questions,
let me ask
right?
You let me, before you go, why? Let me ask you this. Myself and you, now that I know and remember, we come under some great teaching. And Pastor Miles Monroe is a product of some of those great teachings.
Yes.
And let's be fair now. Do you believe today's teaching, the values that we once had, do you believe is effective today as it was yesteryear?
What do you mean by effective?
The teaching. Are we getting the sound doctrine? Or it has been liberalized. Do you believe that?
I think it depends on which church you go to.
Okay. All right. Okay. You could continue now. I'll listen. See, I listen. You don't think I listen. I listen. When my girls come in here, I do listen. But I can't. See, the problem is, I want to be real, and I'm going to say it. I can't play the role of an effeminate man. I wish I know how to do that. I wish I didn't know how to play that role. I cannot play that role.
Ain't nobody asking you to be an effeminate man. Nobody's asking you that. All I am saying
well, you're
is
like that. You're like those effeminate man.
No.
Yes,
no,
man.
No.
Man, you're like effeminate.
No,
I don't know. I can't play that role.
No. No,
Mother Michelle, you don't think they're like these? Boy, they like y'all like these feminist man.
Not so. But this is what I would say.
Go ahead.
Because every time you bring that up, and I ask you the question about the husband of that Proverbs 31 woman, because not very much was said about him. But what people need to realize is that he was a man who enabled her to be a Proverbs 31 woman.
Okay.
By him playing his role.
Yes.
And the challenge that I always have when people bring up this thing about, oh, you need to be a Proverbs 31 woman, I say, show me the man who can enable me to be a Proverbs 31 woman in this day and age. Show me him. Where he is.
I agree with you.
Y'all want to be a bunch of trifling jokers.
Agreed.
Doing the most foolishness. You ain't got the cojones to go do your part.
Agreed.
And be the man you're supposed to be. But I supposed to be this ideal Proverbs 31 woman when you stressing me out because you can't play your role.
I agree with you.
How does this work?
I agree with you. It can't work. It cannot work.
Okay.
But you know where
so
it comes from?
Stop blaming the woman of today that she got to do what she got to do because the men ain't in place where they need to be. Stop blaming her.
I agree with you. I just talked to a beautiful lady a moment ago who answered, who I think she is your producer.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought she was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, oh, she is praying for the man because she recognized my voice.
Right.
But let me tell you this, my sister. And you will not, me and you're I gonna make you tired. The liberated women give a disservice to the world. Because guess what? I was once a boy. I am now a man with 5 beautiful grand. And I made my mother tired. I made her tired many times. You know why? I am convinced that a liberated sister cannot mentor a boy. All she raised is an effeminate boy who don't know how to take on this responsibility. And that's the Bible. Because this is where I come up from. That this is an insult to the traditional family structure. This is where the assault is. Because the liberated women believe she could raise a boy, and she can't. Or she raised an effeminate boy who don't know how to take on this responsibility. And I don't want to blow my own horn. But boy, like I said, my children, mommy, can call and tell you, I cannot play the role of an effeminate man. I have to be an alpha. And I agree with you. You are right. You are right.
Now all you got to go do is teach your brothers how to do the same.
Instead
of throwing rock at woman, go deal with the fellas who lousy.
I'm not throwing any rock at woman, you know. Sister, Madam Michelle, from a child I knew that children should be born in wedlock. My 2 beautiful daughters were born in wedlock.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that from a child. I get that from your uncle. That teaching. So when I knew that, I didn't went all over the place slaving. My royal oats, like you normally say. No, I know better because we got the teaching.
Okay.
Did we?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we get the teaching?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have a wonderful day.
You be blessed this holiday season.
God bless you, Hugh.
All right. We got to go to a break. And yeah, for the record, you still just make me tired. We can take this break. When we come back, let's see where we go. All right. I still won't finish talking about this SBF situation. But if y'all ain't want to talk about that, we can talk about something else because I know we've been talking about that quite a bit. It's up to y'all. Y'all the co-hosts. Y'all have to guide the direction of this show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will continue on this TGIF Open Line show right here on Global 99.5 FM.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Youngevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rims, tints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here on this open line show every Friday around these parts. This is what we do, where you get to be my co-host. The telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line. Although, like I said, I think that phone is dead, but I'll throw it out there anyway while we're trying to get it charged. 8010271, 8010271. So this was a momentous week here in the Bahamas. This whole FTX situation has thrust the Bahamas under the spotlight of the world, because it just so happens that when everything imploded, SBF and FTX were here in the Bahamas under the watchful eye, or some argue not so watchful eye, of local regulators. And so a hearing was held in the United States before Congress, and for the most part on day one, they would have heard from one Mr. John Ray, who has been appointed CEO of FTX to try to oversee this whole bankruptcy proceedings movement. And he said some very serious things as it relates to the Bahamas. You know, the Bahamas has, like it or not, been receiving a black eye over this situation, whether we are deservedly, whether we deserve to get it or not. But we are receiving a black eye from many quarters where people are taking this opportunity to throw rock at us. Some alleging, I think it was the Washington Post, was it? One of those major U.S. newspapers put out this article, this smear article on the Bahamas, saying how it's not surprising that this would have happened in the Bahamas when you consider our history, and they went way back into the days of piracy and rum running and this and the next. In other words, saying that's an island, a nation of crooks, and so we shouldn't expect anything more. And I'm paraphrasing, but that's in essence what they are trying to put out there on us, trying to make it seem like this only would have happened in this jurisdiction because we're a bunch of crooks and thieves and low lives. And I'm like, y'all gotta do better than this. Come on, man. But this is what is happening out there. We're getting a black eye. People speaking ill of the Bahamas. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great. The Bahamas, what a wonderful place to be. What a time to be a Bahamian living in the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you mentioned that Washington Post article, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am so happy Mr. Mitchell responded. A lot of people are saying he shouldn't have been so blunt. But, you know, what he spoke was nothing but true. You know, they went and they dug up all of it, like you said, back to piracy
Mm-hmm.
in relation to this FTX situation that migrated from America.
Mm.
Okay? I know on record, and I heard a lot of the hearings and the commentary and this Mr. Ray, what he was saying. This man, it's as if he just landed on the moon. Moon being FTX. And he is trying to find, he doesn't have a clue as to what's going on as far as, and the scapegoat and the person or the country that's being thrown under the bus is the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because, you know, at the end of the day, we have our laws. We are a sovereign country. We may have a treaty or whatever, that's with the extradition issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the method and the way we go about doing things, we have a commission, the Securities Commission. We have our courts. You understand? This is our jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
And because they are not getting what they want when they want it.
Patrice.
Hello.
I'm
on the phone, David.
Yeah, you called the gate?
I'm on the phone, David.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was my husband.
Mm-hmm.
But Michelle, sorry for that. But, you know, at the end of the day, we have our own, you know, whatever. They're trying to rush. This is something new. This is something with 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks that it happened. The crypto, I don't even know anything about that myself. A lot of us people don't worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
This is something new. I used to hear Graham speaking about it, critical thinker, and Dwayne. They would speak about the Johnson, right?
Right.
But this is something new. So when you have a person, and this same, what's his name, the one who's sitting in jail right now?
Sam Bankman-Fried.
Sam, right? Right. When I remember he had the opening or whatever, he said himself, the reason why he chose the Bahamas, they did their research.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the regulations
mm-hmm.
that the Bahamas had.
Right.
Now, mind you, remember, because I keep saying there because I think it's more than just him. He's at the forefront of it, but I think this is a bigger net to be cast, and this is what the Congress and what person should be looking at, right, in that company. But he said because of our regulations.
Mm-hmm.
This article, I think they may have mentioned about the Anna Nicole situation.
Yeah, they're going to do it. They dig up all kinds of whatever they could find negative on the Bahamas, they dig it up.
Right, but Anna Nicole came here because of our laws, the laws in relation to single children born to single mothers in the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
That was the reason why she came to the Bahamas out of the United States of America, and all those wonderful, fantastic hospitals. She came here because of our laws.
Mm-hmm.
These are our laws. And when it came right down to it, all the big shebang and all that, the blow up and all the fanfare we have, and all of the media from all over the world that came here with that saga, right?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't end up, the last word came down from our judges. It came out of our courts.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same with this situation with Sam, right? You know, and what I don't like is to see how and to hear how persons are saying, you know, everything is speculation as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
The Attorney General has acted. right? The Prime Minister, he is given the authority there. He's acted. The commission, they're doing what they can do. They went to court in Delaware the same day that Ms. Waters and the Congress had that hearing, right? They went ahead and they can't get FTX. They don't trust, and for them to say, Michelle, that they don't trust the government and the Securities Commission in the Bahamas, the judge was leaning towards giving the liquidators, you know, who would ask for information and documents from FTX, right? They don't want because they don't trust us. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to trust. You're gonna have to trust because this is all you have. I don't think we should be put in the position to be made the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
This thing came here after this was already the scheme and everything or whatever allegedly. The plan had already been
It was
set
already
into
in
play.
motion, right?
It was already, and I see people speaking about the crown, not the crown land, the land that was bought.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anything was crown land, but I know when you purchase property in this country, real estate agents or companies, they deal with that. There's a process with lawyers and everything else, right? So when they speak about the government could have gotten, should have done this and should have done that, we have laws in this country. So all of this thing, I'm talking, and even the woman, the Cortez woman in New York, she can't even pronounce our country's name. You understand? She can't even pronounce our country's name to be making or casting all these aspersions or whatever. And I think all of that is being done to simply apply pressure on the Bahamas, the government, so that they can just lay down and just give them everything that they're asking for. And I think it's so wrong. And I think we have to allow this process to play out and let whatever chips fall as far as the hairs rolling or whatever. You understand? But this thing is and they, as far as us being so disrespected to go and suppose we bring up the history of the United States of America, all of its history, the good, the bad, especially the ugly. You understand? They're going to use these because of this one situation with FTX. This Washington Post is going to bring up all of this thing so that you can have people, weak-minded people, and a lot of Bahamian people who should be now standing firm and strong with the Bahamas and pushing back on this. Because we all have a history. All countries have its history, right?
Right.
But you cannot use that same brush and continuously beat the Bahamas because trust and believe, at the end of the day, when we go with our Bahamian passport anywhere in the world, they're not going to look at any specific person or whoever, government, whoever, this or whatever. They're going to look at all of us as Bahamians, as one, Bahamian, the Bahamas, or whatever that girl called us or whatever. I mean, one more thing, Michelle. I remember years ago I was in Miami in a store, and that was right towards the end of the drone train or whatever, I guess, the 80s. And, the store owners, when they said, where you from? He said, the Bahamas. Oh, you are rich, all plenty money. You have all the money is in the Bahamas. And I was insulted. You understand what I'm saying? I was highly insulted because I knew what they meant, what they were saying. You understand, because of the stigma.
Right.
And as far as we have to be able to sometimes defend our country at all costs when people try to cast aspersions on us and not cower in shame or hide behind a bushel. And you understand what I'm saying? Because at the end, let the whole thing play out. Find out, what's going on. As far as the Attorney General, he did his job as far as the first step, letting that situation go to court. I don't know what more they expect for people to do.
Well, I want to thank you for calling.
Thank you so much, and have a safe weekend, Michelle.
You too. I'm going to play the clip from what John Ray had to say with regard to what they perceive to be a lack of transparency, and then we're going to hear from our own Prime Minister, who defended the actions of regulatory our regulations. And then we're going to hear from an expert in the crypto industry who is saying that, this will not permanently damage anything for the Bahamas. This is really quite being seen. The crypto industry is unfazed by all of this. So let's start by listening to what John Ray had to say as it relates to his allegations that the authorities here in the Bahamas have been less than transparent in this whole process.
Do you know whether or not that was an actual hack, or was this done, as has been reported, at the direction of the Bahamian authorities?
It was both.
It was both. And so some was done. Some was done as a result of a hack. Some was done as a result of the request of the Bahamian authorities.
Yes, that's right.
And do you have indication as to why the Bahamian authorities made that request?
Well, it wasn't a request. They just took it.
The Bahamian authorities took the funds that were at FTX
Yes.
through their own action. Was no action required by FTX employees? Maybe you could provide just a little color.
They were aided by the ex-employees, yes.
They were aided by former employees
Yes,
of
Mr.
FTX.
Yes, Mr. Wang and Mr. Freed. Unlike the Chapter 11 process, there's no transparency in the process in the Bahamians, and we've repeatedly asked them for clarity about what they've been doing, and we've been shut down on that. We think the Chapter 11 process is the only open, transparent process that gives visibility to customers of what happened and when they're going to get their money and how they're going to get their money. The process in the Bahamian Islands is not a transparent process. We have opened up the ability to share everything that we have with the Bahamian government, similar to how we share with other liquidators around the world. Not only in this case, in other cases, it's meant to be a very cooperative situation.
Now, keep in mind, you've got two things going on now concurrently. You've got the Chapter 11 and you've got the Chapter 15. So there are two things going on here now. The requirements under Chapter 11 are different than the requirements under Chapter 15. This is something that we need to keep mind of. Now, here is our Prime Minister responding to questions that were put before him by, I think, Theodore Seeley with regard to the actions of our regulatory authority in their efforts to try to recoup some of the funds and in response to what some like Mr. John Ray are saying as it relates to how the Bahamas has handled the situation. Here now is that story.
Regulations in place, and they're being effectively carried out. That's why we're able to do what we have done to date.
He was just warming up there. That was only the beginning of his defense argument.
I think at the end of the day, it's having an understanding of what our regulatory regime is all about. I mean, it will be great if they come and try to understand. We have the DARE Act. We have several protocols that's in place. In fact, I published a white paper policy on how we're going to deal with this space. And it's all there. If they read that and look at it, it is, it's mind-boggling, as you could say, that we are not a properly regulated industry.
Now, we attempted to ask the Attorney General Ryan Pinder the same question today. He outright refused to do so, put his hand over my microphone, and said, "You should know better than asking me that." He then proceeded to walk away with his security detail, turning around twice to see if we were tailing them. The opposition maintains that Pinder and the Prime Minister have not done enough to mitigate reputational damage for the country.
We have done what we can do, and again, we have to also appreciate that the matter is before the courts. There's only certain things that we could speak about. We should look at what's filed in the courts and speak from those matters. We have to also be very careful on how we speak about this matter because it's now become sub judice.
And as for the stability of the digital asset industry moving forward,
I don't think that this fallout of a business entity that is now in liquidation will have any reputational issue for our country.
The Prime Minister will also tell you the Bahamas is still a model nation for digital asset regulation.
We are the model for the region and many other jurisdictions in this space. And we'll continue to try to lead this space in that regard.
All right. apparently he is not the only person that thinks that the Bahamas will still, once the smoke clears from the situation, be the ideal choice for crypto companies to operate from based on the legislation that has been put in place. Um, some industry experts are also of the opinion that, this whole FTX situation is going to eventually be behind us, but it's not going to destroy the crypto industry. It may encourage more stringent regulations on the industry, but it will not, according to this particular expert, be able to undo the industry. It's not phasing the crypto industry. And from where he sits, the Bahamas will be the ideal place for this type of business because it has had the foresight to understand that this is the future and that we should be on the cutting edge of what will become normal in the future. So here is that particular clip with that expert talking about the fact that the crypto industry is unfazed by all of this, and the Bahamas will come out of this without permanent damage to its reputation.
The eyes of the world now fixated on the Bahamas and its cryptocurrency industry in the wake of the fallout of FTX. However, crypto stakeholders like Kevin Hobbs, CEO of blockchain company Aventus Ventures operating in the Bahamas, are seemingly unfazed.
I believe the Bahamas, if they stay the course, they can be the leaders in this. I still have friends who are setting up companies as we speak in the Bahamas that are going to be working in the crypto space, and I've told them, hey, you gotta keep going. This is still going to be the place for that.
Hobbs has been in the crypto and blockchain industry for a decade. He says, though the collapse of FTX and its now arrested former CEO Sam Bankman-Fried left many questions unanswered, it poses no threat to the country's quickly growing digital space.
FTX itself wasn't really a crypto company. It was a centralized entity in an exchange that took in people's crypto and regular fiat currency and then gave them like a proxy token, so to speak, that was inflated to trade with. It's not real crypto.
In their addresses on FTX, both Prime Minister Philip Davis and Attorney General Senator Ryan Pinder expressed optimism about crypto in the Bahamas, assuring Bahamians that after the smoke clears, the country will be heralded for its regulatory framework. Hobbs, while praising the DERAC, believes the same.
The U.S. Media and stuff is just trying to, make the Bahamas look worse than they really are. I think they did a great job. They acted really fast. Being a smaller country, it gives the ability to act very, very fast before things get more and more out of hand. I don't think that the U.S. regulator could have worked at the speed that the Bahamian regulators worked at and kind of get this done. I think they did a great job with that.
But going forward, he has this piece of advice for authorities.
Ask a few more questions, right? Dig a little bit deeper into what the company is trying to do. Ascertain if the company can do what they're saying that they're going to do. Do they have the people, the assets, and the knowledge base to be able to build what they want to build in the Bahamas? That will really help protect the Bahamas from companies who are just looking for a quick flip, a quick sort of pump and rise, and how can I set up quick and get in and out, and you don't want that.
Since filing bankruptcy for FTX, SBF has been remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. And despite his high-profile case on Bahamian shores yesterday, Hobbs, like members of the government, say the Bahamas is still open for business.
All right. You heard it there from someone who is considered an authority in the industry, in the sector. And his view is that, we're going to get out of this unfazed. That this was a situation that was you know, because it happened to FTX does not mean that it's going to happen to every single cryptocurrency operation out there, and that the Bahamas will still be the place of choice because of its forward thinking and the regulations that have been put in place. The Bahamas will be the ideal place for these companies to operate from. However, he did say that more should be done in terms of due diligence. Find out more about the company before you welcome them with such open arms. The thing is, this young man and his team were able to swing a lot of people. And I'm not saying the Bahamas got swung, but a lot of investors got swung, a lot of big name financial institutions that ought to have done better due diligence, which I to this day don't understand how they got away with what they did get away with, because clearly people were not doing their due diligence and were relying on the other, I think it was a situation of, well, if this person is in, if this company is in, then must be good, because I'm sure they would have done that due diligence. Meanwhile, they had not. So a lot of lessons to be learned from this whole situation. As Christy would say, it's a teachable moment. And I think that it's not fair for them to try to make it seem like, the Bahamas was at the center of this because of our lack of regulation or our lack of foresight. Because like someone said in one of those clips earlier in the week, I was sure I've done, this could have happened anywhere and would have happened anywhere. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, good afternoon, Miss Malcolm. How you doing?
Hey, 52, what you saying?
Yeah, I got a little hernia.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Doing some kickboxing, man, trying to stay young. But
boy, look here. I got one jokey story to tell you all about that too. What I just went through.
Yeah, but I didn't know you could. I thought you could get it from doing sit-ups over excessive. But Miss Malcolm, FTX. I don't know what's next, right? You ready for this? The thing is, I didn't comment, and I just listen, and listen to Lang, and listen to CL, and listen to Lincoln. I started thinking, right? Now, there's a difference between the coin and the token. C. Allen said they use them interchangeably, right?
Right.
But let's forget all of the financial literature and trying to play intelligent like most people do, right? Firstly, me, I ain't have time for no Bitcoin because I ain't get my coin. And I ain't get time for no cryptocurrency because I have my currency. So whenever you come with your Ponzi scheme and your dream, right? Man-made construct. I know what goes up must come down. Now, those who invested with those who had the money to invest, right? And I'm very sorry for those who lost their money. All the little stars, just got to use these stars and these prominent people to put on the commercials to get people to invest in intangible money and give the person tangible money.
Right.
All right. So you was ignorant. So I'm sorry for nobody. Now, the thing is, let's be realistic. I ain't trying to defend no country. I so used to people against me and defending my own country. My own countrymen fight me down. These people were so compliant and subservient on the global plantation when it came to the pandemic, the scamdemic, right? Following the global order from Mr. Science, Dr. Fauci, and the likes. But now all of a sudden there's a discrepancy in what's going on. But I can make an hypothesis and juxtapose this and juxtapose that. Yeah, well, here's what I'm going to juxtapose. About the time that this FTX company was initiating itself in this country, this narrative of public-private partnership was being pushed all throughout the Bahamas. Right. This is when they started with this public-private partnership. And this entity has infiltrated all of the financial constructs, medical marijuana, all kinds of different things these people was doing. I ain't commenting on nothing, but I analyzing what is already being revealed online and what people have been saying. And so I already have my own conclusions. And it's not an illusion. The thing is, we have to be realistic. Something nefarious has taken place. Money went from someone to someone, or somewhere to somewhere. The people could easily track that. Let the chips fall where they may, and hope it still be a new day, all right? Now, these people come on the radio. You see, Ms. Malcolm, I know more history than America, but most of these people, I know about their secret, declassified information. I know about their hidden racial agendas, their forced sterilizations. They're using the Melanesian islands to do the cancer research and radioactive research on the locals. We know about all type of depopulation agendas in the third world sub-region. I could go on and on about National Security Memorandum 200, the Iron Mountain Report, all of these things I know, I don't have time for that. What I'm saying is I'm not going to defend anybody because nobody defended me when I was correct about the scamdemic, all right? They sat back and they were subservient to massa, all right? So this whole FTX scenario will play out, and whatever comes of it, comes of it. But I'm saying is you exchange tangible money for intangible money. They use these prominent people to create these commercials and to get people to invest their money, and all of a sudden collapse. So all Ponzi schemes are set up the same way. People control these paradigms from this man-made these. What goes up must, what the Bible say. What the laws of physics say. What goes up must come down. So I ain't putting nothing up because I want it to come down on me. And I ain't sticking with nobody because we don't pull together with nothing. This is how we go on the plantation. Some narratives came across, the white man too good for Fox Hill Prison. So I didn't, this is, the narratives alone sickens me. Urkel should do something about it. Me who have all this history in my head about black history, hearing these things on the radio coming from Negroes is sickening to me. No one is better than anybody. When we are not dying bad, then I want them to ask God. Casey Colbert said something, Ms. Malcolm, that I know is true. When Casey Colbert talked about how they want to enslave us, I mean, that brother's so deep. The thing is, I hope I could last a little longer than him, but, I ain't trying to be here forever. I have a little man now, right? But, Ms. Malcolm, we are a pathetic nation, and I ain't defending nobody, man. Wherever the chips fall where they may, let them fall where they may. You know why? Because I ain't, what it is to gain for me? I ain't got to sink for no supper, I in my shop working hard.
Right.
70, I burn out, they couldn't even wait. I burn out, they wait 16, 17 hours a day, this kind of time for me. So, one is keep nothing for me. My hands is keep my living. That's what they're trying to show you. When I have I have trades under my belt. All right? And so the brother calling about the effeminate males. Yeah, a lot of these males are feminine. They can't even go on the construction site for 6 days straight. They tired. They want to take days off. Most of them, I witness this with a lot of young men who grow up with only their mothers. You know what I mean? And they just can't take it. They want people to take care of them. They believe that somebody owed them something. This is social engineering of humanity where people are being brought up in the idealistic, hedonistic society where everything's supposed to just fall in place for them. No hard work no more. Nobody want to grow anything. Nobody want to know anything. All you want good for is just lambast one another. But I'm not lambasting anybody. I'm saying this, me, personally, I always stand alone. That's the way it is. I wish I had a parallel society to just survive without even hearing all of these foolishness. All right? Wherever it leads to is where it leads to. I'm speaking factually about things. All right? See, Alan explained, or Lincoln explained the tokens and the coins. One is assets and one is not. And you cannot use it as assets. So we know that something nefarious is taking place. But these people, any white man come in blue eye and clearly here with a briefcase full of newspaper or whatever, these jokers sit down and talk with. This is why I told these jokers, you need to have something that America have a place called the Logan's Act, in which it should be illegal for any politician or anybody to meet with private multi-billion-dollar companies to discuss the payment business without oversight. Give thanks, man.
All right. One thing you say, 52 now, he always got a mouthful. You ain't got to say much. Just let him go. Thanks for calling 52. We're going to take this break. On the other side of the break, we'll look at, unless you guys want to stay here, we'll look at some other stories that are making headlines here in the Bahamas. Believe it or not, there's some other things happening that are of concern to the nation. We're going to talk about some of them on the other side of the break. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Blood sugar levels play a key role in your appetite, weight gain, and overall health. When you have a blood sugar spike, you can feel confused, dizzy, and even have increased cravings. Eating carbohydrates, sugary or fatty foods, and not exercising can all cause blood sugar spikes. But now you have help in managing blood sugar levels. Sweeties by Youngevity was designed to help support healthy blood sugar levels so you can power through your day. It's a synergistic blend of minerals, herbs, and nutrients that have been proven to support healthy blood sugar levels. Sweeties includes chromium, an essential trace mineral that's known for its contribution to healthy blood sugar levels and improved metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Cinnamon bark has been included for its naturally occurring antioxidants and support of a healthy heart. And we've even added gymnema. It's been used in Ayurveda for centuries to help promote healthy blood sugar. All the ingredients in Sweeties work together to give the best support available for blood sugar control. Sweeties, the blood sugar support supplement from Youngevity that helps control cravings and manage blood sugar levels through your day. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blasted love.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Even everyday exercise can lead to wear and tear on your body. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here on this open line TGIF show. The telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260271, or 3260272, 3260272. And I don't know if I should go to the WhatsApp line no more because we still don't have it charged up. 801-0271. 801-0271. So, believe it or not, there were other things that were taking place in the country, that took place in the country this week that are of national concern. One of them is that the nurses are threatening to go on strike. Why? Because some of them have not been paid for up to a year. Imagine you going to work every day for a whole year, not receiving a salary. Now imagine you are providing an essential service like being a nurse. Now imagine you got countries like the United States and Canada, and to some extent the UK, coming after you because they realize your value as a nurse. And so they can do whatever it takes to get you to come on their team. This is what the Nurses Association is saying is happening in this country. And they're saying enough is enough. And they have given the government a deadline. If these nurses are not paid by this certain date, then you're going to see us take some action. Here's more on that.
Bahamas Nurses Union President Amantia Williams threatens a strike if members aren't paid what's owed to them by December 2022's payday. In a release obtained by Eyewitness News, a disgruntled member of the union expresses that while Cuban nurses brought in to assist the depleting number of Bahamian nurses in country are being paid on time, Bahamian nurses haven't been paid for over a year.
The next step is that I have a strike certificate, and anything trying to take away the little power that the union have is only a strike certificate. They're only blocking from the tribunal, from the labor department. Tell them what to see about Williams, because my last one as the president, I can show them what the union is supposed to be like.
The union received a strike certificate back in June after conducting a strike vote earlier that month. Fast forward to now, Williams says she experiences this problem with salaries every year when dealing with new nurses.
This gives a bad feeling, a bad look on what the job offers. I can't keep nurses like this. when they go to the state, they get paid, their families put into schools, their husband finds jobs, and these nurses get university certificates, certifications, and stuff free. They don't have to wait a year. The nurses, I've had 5 registered nurses in the Department of Public Health not being paid for a whole year.
On top of that, Williams also adds that 2 clinical nurses have also not been paid over a year. And as health officials scramble to keep nurses in country, Williams says scores of nurses have left this year alone.
I've lost probably over, with everybody, probably about 60, 70 nurses and counting for the various institutions. So you probably had like 20 or between 20 and 10 persons, and you got to count from every area. Okay, and the whole area, you probably have lost about 50 to 60 nurses. Not that these nurses here wants to leave, it's because of the way we do business, especially in DPH.
This as Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville told reporters earlier this month that they're in need of 30 specialty nurses, adding that health officials must find ways to keep the country's nurses at home, quote, by offering better packages and incentives, as other countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada try to recruit them. Darville tells us tonight that the ministry is working on processing the payments.
Now, I will reach back out to Madam President of the Union, discuss these individuals, and work very closely with her and payroll to resolve the outstanding situation with the remaining nurses who may not be on the existing payroll. But I want to make it very clear that the list was forwarded to our financial officer, who ensured that all of those who met the requirements in order for us to pay, their pay will be reflected on this month's pay sheet.
Darville adds that between 10 and 12 nurses will receive those funds this pay cycle, and health officials will come back to the table to sort out those who remain.
But one nurse who is being delayed is significant because they have families, and it puts them at a great disadvantage. Some of them have children, some of them have their own personal obligation, and sometimes stipend that they receive is not adequate to meet what is necessary. But we do feel the pain, particularly for those who may not show up on the pay sheet. But that has nothing to do with clerics. We have our certain guidelines from the Ministry of Finance of who we can pay from who we can't pay, and they have to meet that criteria. But all who met the criteria, I can assure you that they will show up on this month's pay sheet, which I think is on Monday.
Okay, I need some clarification. He talked about the Ministry of Finance needing to have certain things in place in order for the person to make it to payroll. Is that does he mean that there are some like legal documents or banking information, or I'm trying to figure out what those qualifications are, what those things are that the Ministry of Finance does not have for these people and why they're not on a payroll. Because I would think that if you hired the person to be a nurse, then they would have met all of the medical qualifications or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the correct terminology is, but you hired them for a job. So clearly they met the qualifications necessary to be hired for that job. So when you're talking about the Ministry of Finance not having what they need to put the person on the payroll, what does that mean exactly? Does it mean that the person doesn't have a bank account? I need to know what that means. I also need to understand why it has to take up to a year to figure this all out. Is that at the feet or the fault of the individual who's not providing what is being requested of the Ministry of Finance for them to provide? Or is it that the process is so convoluted and so tied up with red tape that it could take a year to fix, even if the person presents what is required. I just trying to figure out, I just trying to understand what's happening here. And I really wish somebody, with information who could explain it, explains it, because I don't understand why I'd have to take a whole year to figure this out. If you know you was hiring the people, clearly they must have some qualifications for you to decide to hire them to be a nurse. So why does it have to take more than a year to get them on the payroll? And if they didn't provide all of the things necessary to get on the payroll, what are they doing on their job? Should not that have been sorted out before you actually hired them? Help me make it make sense. That's all I'm saying. I just trying to understand how we get here and why this, this again, this ain't the first time this happened. Year after year after year after year, same problem. And we can't seem to figure out how to fix it. And I try to figure out why. Why does this keep happening? I don't get it. And these people are providing an essential service. And this is why the United States, the Canada, the UK are willing to pay them top dollar, way more than we could pay them, with all the tricks and all the whistles and everything else, because they realize what a valuable service these people provide. So why is it that we can't get our act together? And if we know that this has been historically a problem, we can't examine this to say, okay, this has been the problem. This is what we need to do to fix it. Get it fixed. Why? I really wish somebody would explain this to me. It's just, I don't know, boy. And it's these kinds of things, these types of breakdown in our systems that make people think that we ain't nothing more than a banana republic. You can't even pay nurses on time. Gotta wait more than a year to get their first paycheck. And this ain't the first time this happened. And this has been going on year after year. And nobody can figure out how to fix this problem. You see why they're looking at us like, we a banana republic? We have a call on the line. Call welcome to GPS.
Good day, Lady Malcolm. How you doing?
Excellent. How are you?
Wonderful. You know why we can't get employment in this country cross the spectrum of local workers employment?
Why?
Because you said it right just now. We are a banana republic, and there is no respect as long as you foreign with curly hair and you got a little lighter skin than you, because I consider you to be a little darker. Then foreign is better. They don't have no confidence in Bahamians. They don't want to have no confidence in Bahamians. Let me tell you something about those nurses. 20 years, the minister gave them to qualify for $3,000, right?
Mm.
At the end of their tenure as nurses, they got to pay that $3,000 back.
Mm.
They got to pay that back to the government now, versus the foreigners better nurses. When they finish their contract at the end of 5 years, they get $15,000 to go back home with. 15 grand. And I could safely tell you that because I go to dialysis 3 times a week. They treating the Bahamian nurses like crap. I almost say something else just now. Like crap, Lady Malcolm. That's our politicians. What the Prime Minister need to do is cut them travel budget by $2 million and pay those teachers, and pay everybody. And then because a disgruntled nurse calculate into patients not getting the type of treatment that they're supposed to get. Thanks for taking my call, Lady Malcolm.
All right, thank you for calling. Is it just individuals in the system who are clogging it up? Or does the system need an overhaul? These are some of the questions I think need to be answered. You're saying, well, they just, don't respect the local nurses. Is that individuals who are in key positions of authority who don't hold our nurses in regard? Or is that a systematic problem? Or a combination of both? Whatever the case. If we got to move some people, move the people. If we got to break down the system to build it back up, do that. But it cannot be year after year after year after year, the same problem happening over and over and over again. Why can't we get this right once and for all? Anyhow, we're going to take our final break. And then when we come back, depending on the time, there was a ruling handed down by the Privy Council that could have major implications for the Bahamas as it relates to immigration. We'll talk about that, time permitting, on the other side. Stay with us. This is GPS. At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all. Schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the Mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy with Mailboat's U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here on this Open Line Friday, where you get to be the co-host and we talk about the week that was. Telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line 8010271, 8010271. Okay. We only have about 5 minutes left in the show, and maybe I should have brought this out sooner, but it is what it is. There's been some new updates in this whole situation with the John Roney Charles case. You may recall he is the man of Haitian descent born in the Bahamas who was deported to Haiti, and it was argued that that went against his constitutional rights, and he was brought back to the Bahamas and all that back and forth. Well, there's been a latest development as it relates to his case that could have implications for immigration to the Bahamas as a whole. Check this out.
The country's highest court has ordered a new constitutional hearing for a man of Haitian descent who was expelled from the country in 2017. Justice Gregory Hilton in 2018 ordered authorities to return Jean Charles to the Bahamas after finding that he had been unlawfully deported to Haiti. On September 18, 2017, immigration officials arrested a man by the name of Jean Charles at Fire Trail Road after he was unable to produce any documents. He was taken to the Carmichael Road Detention Center, and authorities found no record of a Jean Charles being born in the Bahamas on December 1, 1985. Jean Charles was not charged with any offense or brought before a court. However, he was expelled to Haiti on November 24, 2017. In January 2018, Justice Hilton ruled that Jean Charles had been deprived of his right to personal liberty and his right to be brought before the court without reasonable delay. He ordered authorities to issue a travel document to facilitate Jean Charles's return to the country and for immigration officials to issue him status to live and work in the Bahamas. However, the Court of Appeal overturned Hilton's decision in October 2018, ruling that the hearing was procedurally unfair. Jean Charles appealed the decision to the Privy Council, which ordered a new constitutional hearing. He was returned to the Bahamas in February 2018 in compliance with Justice Hilton's order. However, his legal status remains in limbo.
Okay, so in other words, the Privy Council sent it back to the Bahamas so that he could have, I guess, his day in court as it relates to his constitutional rights. So from what I understand, the authorities were wrong to have deported him without giving him an opportunity to go before the courts. But this has some serious implications because remember now, this is a man who was supposedly born in the Bahamas, but never applied to become a citizen of the Bahamas based on what was entitled to him in our Constitution. Those of you who listen to our show every Monday should know and understand what that means, because we cover this every Monday, and Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson does a great job in explaining the Constitution. So the Constitution would have given him a specific window of time to apply for citizenship. He did not apply within that period of time. So what happens now could have a serious impact on what happens in general as it relates to illegal immigration. And I dare say that this is something we need to watch and watch very carefully to see what happens in this case. All right, time's gone. Only a minute left, so that only gives me sufficient time to say my thank yous for tuning in. But yeah, I said we need to pay close attention to that case. Pay close attention to that case because it's going to have implications very, very far reaching. All right. Until tomorrow. Oh, until Monday. Today's Friday. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Weekend. All right. I'll see you guys next week. I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for joining me on this TGIF Open Line GPS. Have a good weekend, everybody. Be safe.
This is Global Radio 99.